Hello, everybody. Another week. Get a little head cold, so you're gonna have to bear with me on this one. But following up from last week, I was kind of happy. Got a lot of hits on this. So we went over basic law of attraction. We went over the meditation, which, like I said earlier, I'm gonna go over that again. And hold on a second. I'll be right back. Need my need my water because I'm not feeling too good. But today, what I'd like to do is talk about beliefs, what the beliefs are, where they come from. Because we all have a set of beliefs that is who we are, whether it's conscious, subconscious, whatever. It's who we are, and it's either what makes us succeed in health, wealth, relationships, or it's what makes us afraid to move forward. So, I mean, what is a belief? A belief is something that we learned when we were young, subconsciously or consciously, that has been with us through our whole life. And it is something that we see ourselves as. And it runs our life. It gives us limitations. It gives us, the thought that you can't do what you want to do or be who you want to be or be with who you want to be with, because there's a belief that you're not worthy or it's just not right for you. Basically, the three main areas: health, wealth, relationships. Someone's always got something going on in those. So, I mean, if you break those down, you know, it all comes down to a belief. I mean, the best way to stop this belief problem is to start watching your thoughts. I mean, if you start watching your thoughts daily, it becomes a habit. I mean, you know how if you're having a day that you're just running the past through your mind and this just keeps going and going. You're like, oh, I could have done this differently. I could have done that differently. It's basically, you need to just let it go because um, it's not going to do anything for you. If you can catch those thoughts and you say, well, that's not really the way I feel. I mean, a good way to put it is your beliefs, if they're not at a high vibration and you're not feeling it. We talked about vibrations last time. When you're in a high vibration, you're sending that out to the universe and it's coming back to you. So if you have a belief that keeps you in your comfort zone and you feel like it's you're not going to break it until you look at it and release it. And like I said, the best way to do that is to just watch your thought. If you have a thoughts that just keep going over and over in your mind, and you're looking at, oh, if I did this differently, if I did that differently. The same thing with the future. If you start looking into the future and you start saying, oh, well, this is going to happen. I don't have the money for this bill. Like, oh, I don't have a date for that night. And it's basically, that's the vibration that you're putting out. I mean, if you think of it this way, all thoughts are neutral. Every situation is neutral. It's the meaning that we put into it that is going to give it the reality that we're going to see. So if something happens that is terrible, it's all you are going to look at it. It could be a lesson. It could be the lesson that changed your life for the better. It could be anything. I mean, there was a guy, Viktor Frankl, who was in the concentration camps back in, in during the Holocaust and everything. And Viktor Frankl, he put around him. I mean, he was in like the worst situation than any of us are ever going to be in. That's for sure. And what he did was he just put out in his state of mind that he changed his reality through where he was by just thinking good thoughts. And I mean, later on, he became one of the greatest motivational speakers there was. But I mean, he went through, you don't even know if you're going to die the next day. And what he went through, I mean, it's all throughout history, there's people like that. I mean, reality is what you think it's going to be. And if your beliefs, I mean, look at Thomas Edison. What if he gave up on the light bulb? I mean, someone else probably would have done it. But he tried 10,000 times to make the light bulb. And he knew it. He knew that he could do it because he saw it in his mind, and he kept doing it and doing it. So, I mean, it's basically, you just need to follow through. So, back to beliefs. I'm ready for sleep, to tell you the truth. But I'm going to push through this, and I'm going to do this, because that's my belief that I'm going to help. Oh, boy. Like I said, all thoughts are neutral. And as you go back, when you were a kid, I mean, some of your beliefs might be subconsciously. That's why I'm really pushing for this meditation, so you can get beyond, your conscious thinking and go to the deep roots. But I mean, some of the stuff, I mean, you might have been in another room watching TV and you heard your parents talking about a fight about money. There wasn't enough money, and without you even knowing it, that became one of your beliefs. Most of our beliefs are formed before we're 9 years old. So, and we carry them through life, whether it's anything. I mean, it's just the way it is, because that's where most of our learning takes place, is till we're 9 years old, of who we're going to be. So if you're hearing things, you hear things from your teachers, you see them on TV, you see them on the news. That's basically how these outbreaks of all these things start. People start to see it on TV, and then they believe that it's coming to them, and then they believe, and next thing you know, it's spreading because of consciously, we're all connected. So if those thoughts become bigger than they are, then basically more people are going to feed into it, and it's going to start to snowball. Next thing you know, all of a sudden there's an outbreak. I mean, I don't even watch the news anymore, to tell you the truth. I watch the weather, and that's it, because it's propaganda to get you to, I don't know, negativity sells. Sad enough as it is, that's what happens. Negativity sells. But if you have a belief that let's stick with money. If you have a belief that there's not enough money, that there's not enough, I mean, and then you start to think that the only way I'm going to make my money is from doing my job. So you go to work, you work 8 hours a day, and you say, oh, well, at least I paid the bills this week. You're shutting yourself off from the infinite ways that money can come to you. I mean, believing is seeing. It's not seeing is believing. If you believe and you have faith, it says it in the Bible, it says it everywhere. And if you interpret it right, you need to see it, you need to feel it, and you need to believe it before it's going to come to you. Otherwise, you're always going to be in that state of wanting, and you're going to be in that state of that it's not there and it's not going to come. So it's basically, what you need to do is you need to feel it first. And if your beliefs are stopping you from doing that, it's, then that's where we need to like start right now. Good. The best way to get rid of beliefs that are holding you back are just to look at them as you're going through your day. And once you train your mind to do this, it just becomes natural. I mean, as you're driving along and you see that your mind is just reeling off on things that have no meaning to you, and they're just, you look at them and you say, thank you for this thought, but that's not my belief. And you just keep doing that, and you keep doing that, and you keep doing that. Anything that is going to give you that pit in your stomach and make you feel like, it's, if it hasn't happened yet, how do you know it's going to happen? If you're creating your own reality, how do you know what's going to happen? And it's these people that are everybody. I mean, I do it too. But if you look at an outcome and you plan it to be just that, you're shutting off any other infinite possible ways that something could come to you. Like money. If you say the only way I'm going to make my money is through my job, the only way I'm going to, meet this girl or whatever is if I go out this Saturday night. Or, I mean, basically, if something is stuck in your life, go do something else and let that part, because you set it and you forget it. You believe and then you receive. Because if you're just sitting around and you're waiting for it to happen, what do you think you're telling the universe? You're telling the universe, oh, I'm going to wait. So the universe says, oh, okay, we'll make you wait then. And they just kind of push it back and back and back. So, I mean, the best thing to do is to do. I heard this on a video the other day. The best thing to do is whatever is the most exciting for you at that time. I might be going for a walk or something like that. And you might think, well, that's not on my path. How do you know? How do you know that's not what you're supposed to be doing? How do you know you're not going to meet someone with a business deal that's going to, all of a sudden, you'll strike up a conversation with or something? You don't know. You don't know where you're headed. So, I mean, basically, I mean, these beliefs that we're in a limited world and we're in a cruel world, that's not true. I mean, it's a loving, kind universe, and we're all part of it. And there's infinite whatever we want. There's infinite answer. Are you asking the right questions? Do you know what the questions are you want? Do you start with simple questions and let other questions come to you? Let the answers come. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on around you. Be aware of signs you see on billboards. And, once you ask a question, be open to different answers coming to you. Be aware of an email that comes to you or anything it could come from anywhere. I mean, you could look at a bumper sticker and there'll be some meaning to it. A song, an animal, if you're into the animal totems, look at it. If there's a certain animal that runs across your path, look for answers. And I mean, we're here to expand. We're not here to like set our goal and okay, I want to make X amount of this money. I want to have X, this girl as my wife. I want to have this. We're not here to do that. We're here to expand on who we are. We've been here many times, many lives. I hope you all believe that because it doesn't make sense. And we're not, energy never stops. So energy is always flowing. So we just came in this life to expand more and to feel joy. And the more you feel that joy, the more in alignment you're going to be with who you really are, and the more good things in life that are going to come to you. It's just the way it is. And I mean, once you believe in that and you have faith, then, you'll be all set and you just start to see, start to take logs, start to look at the little things that are happening, start to look at things that are just kind of flowing in your life and take note of them and thank the universe for them. So, I mean, going back to beliefs, you need to look at every thought you have. And you say, is this my belief? And if it isn't, you can say, well, thank you for this thought. I'm glad you brought it up to me. Now I'm going to let it go. And you just keep doing that, and you're going to clear yourself of all these beliefs. And the good thing about that is once you start to do that, it starts to compound. And more will come up to you, and more will come up to you. And at some point, you might hit a big belief that is maybe a cycle for you. Like maybe it's a certain type of person that you're always been attracted to, but you know it's not right for you, or it's a certain type of activity or whatever. So on those big ones like that, you're going to face that belief. And what will happen is you'll face it, you'll let it go. But what will happen is you will feel what's called an echo. And that is, you'll see the same situation again. So this is where a lot of people will make their mistake. And they'll say, oh, look, nothing's changed. It came again. But here's the chance. Here's the secret. That is, that echo has come to you because it gives you a chance to look at it differently and to react differently. So if you react differently, you prove to the universe that you've changed. And your situation hasn't changed, but you've changed. So that means everything around you has to change to meet you. I mean, you've just changed the universe. Once you look at something differently, the same situation, and you just look at it differently, and that means that you've grown and you've expanded, and you won't have to face that lesson again. But be aware of that last echo because it's coming. I mean, when you do something big and you've taken a big step, it's just natural. You're gonna see that one or two more times. You're gonna see that, and it's how you react to it that's gonna prove that you've changed. Not how the outer looks, but how the inner reacts to it. So, with that said, I got about 10 minutes left. I want to get back into the meditation from last week. I got a lot of people talking to me and messaging me that it didn't quite work, but that's cool. That's fine because if it was your first time trying it or whatever, it's like working a muscle, and you need to. It's like going to the gym and you work out your muscles. It's the same thing with your mind. You're expanding your mind. So this time, when we start, I'm gonna go a few different things that are gonna kind of break it down a little easier, and it might be easier for people. And I'm gonna go slower so that we can concentrate on each step of it. All right? Okay. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it go. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Someone outside is looking for a dog. But anyway, take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it go. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it go. Now another way that helps with this too is if you can, I don't know if you're with people or whatever, but if you can make a small hum noise like a that gives your conscious mind something to focus on while you're doing it. Okay. So we're going to start at the beginning here. If you want to do the hum noise, it's fine. There is no right way to do this. There is no wrong way. This is just you expanding your mind. I don't know how your mind will expand. I don't know how it will react to it. So, but it's whatever works for you is going to work. All right, this time, picture you sitting down at a table with a piece of paper and a pencil. The first shape that you're going to draw is a triangle. On the piece of paper, draw your triangle. It can be whatever color you want. It can be whatever you want. Any background. Now picture that triangle laying flat on the paper. Picture it being picked up and brought into a 3D shape and spinning. Let it spin. Look at it, watch it spinning. Now, picture it going down back to the flat paper. Once again, from the flat paper, picture it coming up off the paper and turn it into a 3D shape and spinning. Not fast, not slow, just kind of spinning. Actually, I should say whatever way you want it to spin is fine. Now picture it going back down to a flat paper. Next, on that same piece of paper, next to the triangle, draw a square. The square can look however you want it to look, any color, any background. Now, picture that square coming up and turning into a cube. Watch it spin. However you want it to spin. Fast, slow. If you want it to spin at all, doesn't matter. Okay, now let that come back down into the paper and lay flat. Okay, once again from the paper, take the square and pick it up into a 3D form. Let it spin. Okay, lay it flat. Now, on the same piece of paper, move over a little bit and draw a circle. Any color, whatever you want. Just draw a circle on the flat piece of paper. Now take that circle, pick it up, and make it into a ball. Watch the ball spin. Now, take the ball and bring it back down, turn it into the flat piece of paper. Once more, pick it up from the flat piece of paper and let it spin. Now next to that, the last shape you're going to draw is a spiral. Draw the spiral. Now, take the spiral and expand it flat on the flat piece of paper. Expand it up, and then bring it back down to a flat piece of paper. Same thing, pick it up, and bring it back down. One more time, from the flat piece of paper, pick it up, and then bring it back down. Now, you're going to picture yourself standing next to, well, you can just picture yourself standing alone at this point. And think of a light up in the sky. And as we project yourself towards that light, you could picture yourself with your body on the ground and just part of you leaving, you know, like a holographic you leaving to go to the light and then coming back down. Maybe like a transparent you looking down at your body. Or whatever works for you. Now you're going to go to the light again. Stay there for a few minutes. Feel the warmth. Feel the happiness. And then come back down. Now, on the piece of paper, what I want you to do is go back to the triangle, and if you can do all of them at the same time, that's awesome. If you need to do one at a time, but you're going to go from the triangle, the square, the circle, and the spiral. And from their flat form, if you could picture all three of them, or all four of them, I'm sorry, coming up and turning into their 3D form, and then going back down. If you want to do one at a time too, that's fine. Whatever works for you. If you want to do them, like do one, boom, boom, boom. You know, just going from 3D to 2D, 3D to 2D, 3D to 2D. And then as you go through the progression of each of those, picture yourself at the end going up to your light and then coming back. Going up to your light and then coming back. What this is doing, this is retraining the way you're thinking. It's expanding your mind to see that things aren't always 2D. Things can be 3D, and things can expand, and things can come back. Things can expand, things can come back. That's basically what this exercise is doing. So, I mean, if it takes you a few times to get it, that's good. That's fine, because it's basically it's expanding you, and it's going to help you to visualize. It's going to help you to see that things are more than what they seem. But I mean, if you can keep doing that, so keep, you know, let's try it once more with the group. So go from the triangle, go from the paper, expand it, and then put it flat. Expand it, and then put it flat. Expand it, put it flat. The square. Expand it up, spin it, put it flat. Expand it up, put it flat. The circle. Expand it up and spin it, put it flat. Expand it up, put it flat. The spiral. Spring it, and then bring it flat. Spring it up, bring it flat. You expand yourself up, then come back. Expand yourself up, then come back. Expand yourself up. Stay there. Feel the warmth. Now come back slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it go. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it go. All right. Well, that's it for this show. I'm sorry I wasn't too with it with my cold, but next week I'll be a lot better because I won't have a cold anymore. And I'm going to go further into beliefs. I'm going to come up with some. I'm just going to. We'll just figure it out from there. I'm going to bed. Okay? Good night.